Welcome to another Saturday rebuild, and today we're going to Germany and we're going to attempt to rebuild TSG Hoffenheim, who are lying precariously close to the bottom of the Bundesliga. With the new winter update on FM, I have decided to disable the summer transfer window and play with what we have for the first season, and let's see if we can get Hoffenheim out of trouble. Their status in finances is very, very rich, so that could have come handy this window actually, to be fair. They are predicted to finish in 8th position and had most of their success in the 2000s, although they are now enduring a frustrating 17-year barren spell of not having won a competition since 2005. Well, first off, we need to survive, and anything along the way will be a bonus, but we do want to try and get into the top half, top 6, or back into Europe as well. They have won the German Cup in 2002, 3, 4 and 5, and finishing runners-up once. So their best 11 for the players they've got at the moment: the Kramaric, Demar, Baumgartner, I think it is, Prommel, Delaney, Kaderabek, Angelino, Brooks, Ozan, Vogt, and Bowman in goal. They've got a couple of loan obligations and quite a few players out as well. They want to sign players based in Germany, so that's not going to be too difficult then. So we just concentrate on German players, and I guess develop players using the youth system, play attacking football, high tempo pressing football, sign players under the age of 23 for the first team, and don't sign anybody over the age of 30. Work within the budget, qualify for the Europa League. That's what they want us to do at the end of the first season, although I don't think they're going to be doing that in real life. Reach the latter stages of the German Cup, qualify for the Champions League following season, and then continuing doing that the following season as well. So we've got a bit of a job on our hands, I feel. So looking at their finances, they said they were rich. By gum, are they rich? 86 million pounds in, 15 million pounds, and no overall debt. That's brilliant, just the transfer debt. Excellent. Staffing, we can do a lot with that as well. They're not too bad in the coaching staff. Hopefully that'll improve over the next 5 seasons. And the recruitment staff, that does need looking at, I'm afraid. So looking at our squad, then the players that we have got to play with this season. So some of the better players that they have got: Kramaric, 31-year-old, attacking midfielder, striker possibly. Looks very nice. Very nice indeed, actually. He is the striker, so maybe he'll be starting off more than likely. Grisha, Prommel as well. Defensive midfielder, central midfielder. Yes, we can work with that. Looks very, very nicely rounded player as well. Dennis Geiger, 24-year-old midfielder. Superb, one for the future. This is probably a player we'll be playing around or building around, I feel. Looks very, very good. Stats-wise, first touch, composure, decision-making, great teamwork, vision as well. Advanced playmaker, is he? Line playmaker. Okay, that's fine. And what about a DM? Can play either position. Probably more suited to midfielder though. Angelino, which we've got out on loan. Is there anything with his contract that we can pay? Optional fee of £17 million. Well, hopefully they'll give us that. And Dolberg as well. Another striker or attacking midfielder on the left-hand side. Again, he's injured currently. Again, if we manage to get hold of him, Dolberg could be playing up top, and he could be playing on the left-hand side. So he could be giving Kramaric a run for his money up top, I think. Scow as well, Robert. Again, nicely rounded player. Right-hand side this time, or central midfield there, look. On the right-hand side. He can play on the left-hand side as well, actually. That could come very, very handy. And at 26 years old as well. Delaney, which we've got on loan. He's 30 years old now, though, Thomas Delaney. Probably good to use this season. Get us out of trouble. He would have to be replaced next season, I think. Obviously, going back to his loan club. But there's no deal to sign him. Minimum release clause at £27 million. Seems an awful lot, though. Baumgartner, 22-year-old attacking midfielder as well. Nice. Left-hand side, superb inverted winger, side forward as well. He can play at cam also. So I'm thinking already a 4-2-3-1. Surprise, surprise. Another one that could build a team round. John Brooks and a couple of other youngsters as well. Kobach as well, 22-year-old defender. Got a good potential on him as well. Larson as well, another midfielder. Quite a good few potential players here as well. Quaresma. Eduardo, 20 years old at the back. Biskov, 17-year-old. Damar as well. Great potential, but probably not for the first team at the moment. Probably have to get them out on loan also. Other than that, it's not looking like a bad team. So the formation we're going to try out this season, we're going to have, instead of having 2 DMs, we're going to push 1 into midfield, 1 at the back, just in front of the defence, feed the central midfield up and take it from there. Baumgartner and Geiger and Kobat, some of the youngsters that we are going to be building the team around, I think, this rebuild. I would like to see these two here in the midfield getting their potential, as well as Kovac at the back. There are a few areas for improvement, that's for sure, but we'll see how this formation goes. But this is what we're going to be going with. We are going to be playing the high press at the top, but obviously with a lower defensive line to stop the goals being conceded if at all possible. So far the pre-season and the start of the season hasn't gone, well, it's gone okay. It's a little bit of a mix, really. The friendlies weren't too bad, wins and losses. We did win our first game in the first round of the DFB Pokal German Cup 8-0, so that was kind of nice. We carried that on into the start of the season as well, with a 1-0 over Borussia Mönchengladbach and Bochum as well, 3-0. Then we lose to Leverkusen 5-1 away from home. Augsburg we draw 1-1 at home, and then Dortmund we lose away from home. So it seems to be our home form in the league, at least anyway, is going to be very, very important. We are lying 7th in the table currently, so that's not too bad. It is Dortmund that are atop of the table with Bayern Munich, obviously. Leipzig, Freiburg, Union Berlin and Cologne as well. Augsburg are just below us. Leverkusen, who absolutely smashed us, where are they? They're below us. That's with that 1 win against ourselves. That's disappointing to see. And the season preview has us go up from media prediction 8th to 6th, 50-1. So I'm reasonably happy with that, considering with the 2 losses already. So we'll see how that goes. Let's simulate our first season, jump straight into it and see how we get on. Well, the media prediction got it right though. 6th place finish. We finished in 7th with just 1 place off a European spot as well, with Cologne getting that 4 points ahead of us. Wolfsburg finish in 5th, and then the Champions League places between Frankfurt, Dortmund, Leipzig and Bayern Munich, who win the league by 8 points, I think it is. Only losing 3 games through the whole season and only conceding 20 goals, which isn't too bad. But ourselves, 49 goals scored, 48 conceded. I like to think we can do better going forward, but it's a top 10 finish regardless, where we want to be anyway. League form, we did start off quite well. 2 wins, a loss and a draw. Then went the opposite way around, a loss, draw and a win. A couple of wins on the bounce, so that was quite good. A 4-0 win over Freiburg. Cologne we lose 2-3-0. Bayern Munich 2-0. Any standout results here? Not really. They're all been relatively close matches. A couple of spats where we go unbeaten for a little bit. Leverkusen we beat 2-0, which is quite good. Dortmund we lose 2. Freiburg, Hertha Berlin, a couple of more wins. Bayern Munich we lose 3-1 away from home. Cologne and Leipzig 3 losses on the bounce there. That kind of hurt us, probably getting that one of the top spaces. But towards the end, we finished with a flurry of 3 wins and a draw. The German Cup, we get knocked out in the quarterfinals to Leipzig 2-0. Wow, after an 8-0 win, 1-0 over Rostock and 3-0 over Bielefeld. But yeah, quarterfinal loss. Disappointing, but probably not as surprising though, I guess. Hopefully we'll do better going forward. General performance, so 1.44 goals per season. Slightly more than the average Bundesliga teams. Conceded 1.41, so it is relatively close considering we had a goal difference of 1, so it's not too bad. Tackles win, 72% ratio, which isn't too bad. Pass completion, 85. Shots per game, 11.29. With shots on target as a percentage, 44, so just under half are on target. It's kind of nice seeing this general performance for the season. Maybe it's something we'll have a look at each season as well, see if that does improve somewhat. Kramaric, 19 goals and 31, 8 assists. It's not too bad. I'd like to see a little bit more from our forward, about 31 years old. Do we hang on to him? But he has got a very good average rating though, 7.19. So Either we move him along, bring somebody else in, or we just hang on to him just that little bit longer. Larson as well, 8 goals, not too bad. Did Dolberg play? 4 goals in 12. Would have liked to see a little bit more, but I'm not sure if he has got a release clause on him. 9.25 if we want him. It could work for us going forward. He's delighted at least anyway. He could be the perfect replacement for Kramaric. I do apologise for getting that name totally wrong, but yeah, not a lot of players that are getting involved here, unfortunately. Baumgartner in the cam role. He's delighted, and his morale's absolutely superb. 3 goals, 5 assists. Like to see a little bit more. But 10 assists coming from Geiger. 8 from Scoff and Kramaric. 8 as well. 5 for Delaney. Baumgartner 5. It's not an awful lot. It doesn't give our forwards a chance, really, to be fair. Goalkeeping wise, it looks like we've had a fair few goalkeepers playing as well. 24 games. We've conceded 30 for Bowman, our 33-year-old. And our other goalkeeper has done relatively well, though. Luca, the 22-year-old, 18 goals conceded in 12. And Noll, who's only 20, 2 goals in 2. Maybe it's a goalkeeper we need to look for as well as a replacement. And definitely at the back, I think. Finances. So we are rich. We knew that right at the beginning. And we have been given £26.5 million to go and spend. Don't forget, it has to be on German players. And under 23s, if at all possible. And we've got some way of a budget as well for wages. At least 200,000, maybe 300,000. Our debt has gone down from 15 to 12.2 now. So that's being reduced. So that's good to see. Probably go up after we've made a few signings though. So let's get into the transfers. And we'll have a look when we've done. So to kick off the transfers, Oliver Christensen, a goalkeeper, 24 years old, £1.5 million from Hertha Berlin. Looks quite a good replacement for Bowman, I think. Next up is Luca Killian from Cologne for £7 million to sit at the back. Looks really, really good. And at 24 years old, 6'4". And he's reasonably quick as well. Jordan Bayer from Mönchengladbach, just under £10 million. A right back or central defender. We're strengthening our defence if nobody's gathered already, but potential looks pretty good as well, and reasonably all-rounded. And from Nice, Dolberg, we do sign him on a permanent deal for just under £10 million. And from Leipzig, Angelino, again on loan last season, but instead of the £17 million deal, we had the optional fee. We paid £10 million for him. I think that's a bargain at 26 years old as well, down that left-hand side. He's going to be a superstar for us, I think. So all in all, £35.5 million spent. A few players go out the door like Posh, Stiller, Vogue, Dabor, Akpaguma, Adams, Brooks and Kaderabek as well, all going for a reasonable amount of money. £16.75 million brought in, and quite a lot of players going out on loan. Currently going to be playing with a side like this. This is our ideal side. It looks pretty decent as well. So with 2 midfielders actually in the midfield behind the cam, with a youngster up front. He's got 8 goals for us already, actually, to be fair. He comes from the youth academy. And at 20 years old, I think I was originally going to put Dolberg up front. But I think he can do the job. His third choice striker behind Dolberg and Kramaric. But Kramaric, he can come on as and when we need him, I think. But for the time being, we're going to give this youngster a go, I feel. He's doing really, really well. So 3 goals in the Bundesliga already. Scored a couple of goals in the Europe already, a few, and in the German Cup as well. And with that in mind, our pre-season got off to a slow start. Then we started piling the goals in with a 3-0 victory over Hamburg in the first round of the German Cup. And then straight away you can see Dortmund came home to us and they got thrashed. Absolutely pummeled. Beer netted a hat-trick, finishing it off in the 94th minute. I mean, superb. We do qualify for the Europa Conference League now after beating Faro Constanta 8-3 on aggregate. But we do lose our away game to Leverkusen 2-1 despite getting a goal back. Currently we're lying in 6th position just after the 2 games played. Wolfsburg are 2 for 2 with Frankfurt and Leverkusen actually. Bayern have dropped points, Augsburg, and then it's ourselves. So we're in the mix already. We've drawn Zurich, Dinamo, I think that's Batumi, and Cluj as well in the Europa Conference. So I would expect us to get through that, I'm hoping. And we've drawn Borussia Mönchengladbach in the next round of the German Cup. Season preview has us dropping down to 7th, but 50-1. I'm quite happy with that. There's still a lot of good teams above us, and the Dream 11 is just taken up by Bayern Munich and Jude Bellingham. That's it. Wow. So let's simulate Season 2, see how we get on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll gain a few more places up the table and maybe a chance of silverware possibly. Right, okay, just slightly worse off than last season, but look who finished in 7th position though. Dortmund in 7th. Wow, what a drop they've made. Leipzig win the league from Bayern Munich. Very, very close at the top. Leverkusen, Frankfurt, Cologne, Freiburg as well. But yeah, 49 points, a little bit less than last season. We do score a few more goals than last season as well as conceding. Overall, I don't think it's too bad. We're in the top 10 at least anyway. Unfortunately, this time round, we do not qualify for Europe, which is probably one of the asks from the board, actually. But however, disappointing or not, look who has just finished with the golden boot for this season. Our young player, Maximilian Beer. He's only a 3-star. He's 21 years old. Top goal scorer of 23. Beat the likes of Seske, Mane, Thuram as well. I mean, that is just... that's absolutely brilliant from the youngster. So looking at our form, so we won and lost. That win against Dortmund was absolutely fantastic. To finish below them, it's disappointing, I'm not going to lie. September, a couple of losses, couple of wins, nothing too drastic. Scores are quite tight. Again, a couple of games, Union Berlin, Schalke. I feel like we should be beating teams like that now. We lose all our games in November to Munich, Mönchengladbach and Frankfurt. Quite considerably, really. 11 goals to 2 on aggregate in all 3 games. That's poor. We do pick ourselves up the following month with a couple of good wins there as well. 3 wins and a draw. We do draw with Dortmund away from home, so we remained unbeaten against Dortmund. So that's a good improvement. Leverkusen we lose. We beat HSV. And then we do have a couple of more losses to along the way towards the end of the season, but we lose to Leipzig, namely one of them. But then we start beating everybody else. No wins in March, but we do pick up wins in April and towards the end of the season as well. A nice 6-1 win over Wolfsburg there. The German Cup, we only get as far as the second round, disappointingly, losing to Borussia Mönchengladbach 1-0. UEFA Conference League, we finished top of the table. Wow, with 21 goals, 3 against. The drop points coming against Cluj in the 2-2 draw, but we beat Zurich twice, 3-0 and 7-0. Dinamo as well, 9-1 over the 2 games, and Cluj 3-0 in the other one. I mean, that's not bad at all, you know. In the round of 16, we beat Ludogorets 3-0 on aggregate. Then we play Hearts of Scotland 3-2 in fact over the 2 legs with a 2-1 victory at home, and then we lose to Young Boys in the semi-final after taking a 0-0 draw over to their place, and then just probably running out of steam despite getting a goal back through Prommel, of which it is Real San Sebastian that take it 3-1. So Beer, how did he do? In fact, he gave us 39 goals this season, which is amazing for the youngster. He's only on 14 grand a week as well. What a bargain. 6 assists. Kramaric, he got 10 goals, playing 39 games. 8 for Skov as well. Baumgartner, 7. 6 for Larson. Did Dolberg play? Again, not getting much game time. I'm going to have to stick him in there on a permanent, I think. I think it's between him and Larson, really. I'm just wondering whether we ought to give him a striker role, or saying that Beer's playing ever so well. So hopefully he's going to improve some more. And Dolberg, we'll have to stick him there on the left-hand side, I think. But other than that, a lot of players getting a good rating as well. 15 and 14 assists for Scarf and Kramaric. And a few more assists throughout the whole team, but not an awful lot. A goalkeeper, Christensen, 64 goals conceded and 50, which can't be too bad and not to be that scoffed about, I don't think. Hopefully he'll do better next season. But average ratings, best player, Beer. Dennis Biscoff as well, the 18-year-old. He only played a couple of games though. Going into the next season then, we've been given £47.5 million to spend. Quite a lot in the wages budget as well to spend. So let's get cracking and let's do some business. So the first of a few transfers that we did make this window, we bring Alexander Nubel back to the Bundesliga. He was at Galatasaray. We've nabbed him for £7 million. And I have to say, at 27 years old, he looks fantastic. I think we just needed that stability with losing Bowman in the window this time round. We have got Christensen as backup now. He did all right in his first season, but I think we just needed that bit more stability. Milan gave up their centre-back for £15 million. Malik Thor. We bring another German to the fray. 23 years old. Like I say, centre-back. He looks really, really good. Jumping reach is quite good. Heading as well. He's got good vision. Positioning as well. Marking also. I mean, he looks pretty good and he's got great potential as well. So one for the future for sure. And then our key signing then, Kefren Turam, midfielder, 5-star defensive. Well, he's a defensive midfielder, but midfielder as well. But he's relentless. Nice gave him up for £23 million. What a superstar to start in that midfield. I cannot wait to see what happens this season. I think we've made good our midfield now with the arrival of Thuram as well. I think it's absolutely super. I mean, look at his stats. It just speaks for themselves. But £23 million, I think it's a bargain. And at 23, wow. So overall, £45 million spent. We do say goodbye to Bowman. Like I say, he went out on a free to Braga. Semesco gone to Borussia Mönchengladbach for 1.6. Everybody else has gone out on a loan. So not really much movement in the market this time round. We may see some movement next season. But for now, we've just strengthened our side, I feel. We are going to be playing a different formation, however, a 4-4-2. I felt like having wingers, it just exposed us a little bit. And we're having two up front. I think it's going to help us quite a lot as well with Beer and Dolberg. Kramaric, he may be retiring next season, so we couldn't offload him. However, he is there as backup. Thuram in the midfield, Bayer and Killian in the defence with Nubel at the back with Angelino, who's trying to force his way out of the club. I don't know why, because he's an absolute star over here, so I don't understand why he wants to go, but he's contracted as to 2027, so he's going to hang around here unless we find somebody better. Pre-season's gone brilliant. In fact, we've only had the one loss as we were starting this formation out. We haven't conceded any goals really. 2 against Real San Sebastian in the 2-0 loss and 1 in a friendly against Getafe as well. We start the German Cup with a 3-0 win. Then we beat Mönchengladbach, Wolfsburg and Dortmund without conceding a goal. We're second in the table, 3 for 3, and it's not very often I can say that, which is brilliant. We're just behind Bayern Munich just because of goal difference. Just incidentally, how have they done? 5-0, 3-1 and a 3. They have conceded a goal though. There's no European football for us this season, so we can concentrate on the league and make sure we are into the hopefully top 4. That's the plan for this season. We want European football, and we've drawn Union Berlin in the next round of the German Cup. The preview sees us in 7th position, 50-1. Again, it's going to find it hard to get into the top 6, but I feel we're almost there. We're almost at the top half, so I'm sure we can get past Frankfurt and Wolfsburg. Possibly Leverkusen, then it's delving into the top 3. Bayern Munich haven't got it all their own way in the Dream 11 because we've got Nubel in the goalkeeper role. Brilliant. Right, with that in mind, let's go ahead and simulate Season 3 and we'll come straight back. Wow, whether it's a change of formation or adding these extra quality players in, but wow, what a season we have just finished up on. Considerably better than the previous 2 seasons. 24 wins. My God, that's a lot. 5 and 5 draws and losses there. 71 goals scored at 45 goal difference as well. 77 points. That is amazing. What a season we have just had. And we're in the Champions League as well. So mission accomplished so far. We only miss out on the title by 5 points in the end. Bayern Munich with 4 losses, including a loss to us actually, a 3-0 win there. We lost a few games as well. Cologne, Leipzig, Leverkusen, Hertha Berlin and Leipzig again, twice to them. We didn't lose to Munich though. Beer and Dolberg in the race for the Golden Boot. Beer joint second with Dolberg in 4th position, but 47 goals between them in the league. Fantastic. Beer almost gets top rated player for the season, just behind Sesko. And Nubel gets 18 clean sheets as well, exactly the same as Neuer. That is a phenomenal season by any stretch of the imagination there. So the league, how did we get off to a very, very good start? That win over Dortmund was amazing. Our first loss was against Leipzig though in October, but we beat Freiburg 5-2. We did draw with Bayern Munich though previously. The wins just kept coming. A few draws, a loss to Hertha there. A 6-5 win over Mainz. Wow. The winner, anybody? Dolberg netting 5 goals in that game. 6-2 win over Dortmund though, which is just as good. Everybody on the score sheet in that one as well. Bayern Munich, we win 3-0. That's pretty good. In fact, I think we didn't concede a goal against Bayern Munich. That's a phenomenal season. Leipzig, we lose 4-2. It's a lot better structured formation, I feel, and I think it works for us a lot better. We don't concede many goals at all. In the German Cup, we do get to the quarterfinals, losing out on penalties, and yeah, it's quite tight all the way up to that point, but I'm very disappointed we didn't get any further considering the season we've just had. But squad-wise, our 2 strikers and Beer top scores with 29, Dolberg with 25, which is really good. Really happy with that. And nobody else really came close. Kylian, defender in fact, 5 goals. Nobody else really contributed, but I'm supposing the 4-4-2 knocked the ball up to our forwards and they will do the job. And Beer's looking very good indeed. Maybe Dolberg needs to be swapped out possibly, but at the moment he's playing all right. Assist wise, just 14 from Skov. Beer with 9 for Geiger as well. Larson 8, Dolberg with 7. Angelino with 6, with 2 goals as well for him. Thuram in his first season 4 and 5, which is pretty good. And Thor as well, our right back, 3 assists, and he's looking really good as well at just 23 or so. Wow, I think we've got makings of a very good side here. And in order to do that, we need some transfer money, and we've been given just £32 million, which I'm quite surprised considering we're in the Champions League. Maybe they think that we can go all the way here. Interesting. Right, let's go away and do some business and we'll be straight back. So in ascending order, our transfers, Daniel Malen from Dortmund for £2 million. A backup really striker is what we really wanted. We lost Kramaric earlier on in the window and we just needed somebody young, 26 years old, somebody can come in, do the job. And he scored 7 goals for Freiburg last season. Next up is another player from Dortmund, £5 million, right wing, right midfield. We needed more backup on that right hand side or the left hand side, so you can play either way. But yeah, got good potential, come in to do a job for us, and 23 years old as well. But for £5 million, I think it's a bargain with great potential. And our main signing, where a majority of our budget went, is a left midfielder, Nikola Zalewski from Roma for £25 million. He looks absolutely superb. His physicals, his acceleration and pace look phenomenal. Dribbling is even better. It just looks brilliant. Absolutely does. And he's going to slot straight in, really, into that left-hand side. So overall, £32 million spent, 3.6 going out. So Kramaric goes to Al Rayyan on a free. Kabak goes to Real Hispanos for 1.3. Babu goes to AEK for 1.6, and Ribeiro goes to Valladolid for £950,000, and there's a few players going out on loan as well. What can I say? We're just carrying on from where we left off last season. 3 friendlies, 3 wins. We start off in the German Cup first round against Bootsen. We win that 4-0. We beat Cologne 1-0, close tie, 89th minute winner from Dolberg. Stuttgart, we win 2-1. I was expecting a bigger victory. The Stuttgart were near the bottom, But it is Dolberg with the second goal and effectively the winner. And HSV we beat 4-2 quite convincingly as well. The Champions League, we have picked up games against Milan, Real Madrid, Rangers, Atletico Bilbao, Olympiacos, AZ, Chelsea and Juventus. The hopes of us getting into the top 24 on these games is going to be nothing far than a miracle. I just hope it doesn't upset our charge for the title as well at the same time, because that would be a shame. Currently we're 3 for 3, lying in third position behind Bayern Munich and Leipzig. We've drawn Frankfurt in the next round of the German Cup, and we are now up to 6th position in the media prediction, 33-1, just behind Wolfsburg. We've overtaken Frankfurt now, and we're almost there. I think a couple of more seasons we should be in the top 4, hopefully. Costa has taken over the goalkeeper in Dream 11, but Turan, we've got one in there in the Dream 11. Fantastic. So let's go and simulate season 4. Hopefully we can capitalise on our third position from last season, and hopefully the Champions League doesn't disrupt us from that. Just goes to prove last season was no fluke. We've gone and done it again at third position. We are slightly more away from the leaders or the winners, Bayern Munich. This time we are 8 points behind, which isn't too bad to be fair. An amazing 11 points clear of 4th place Leverkusen. Dortmund finished 8th this time, 49 points. We kind of beat them on that by nearly 30 points. Wow. Some way off they were, but really pleased. This time we only lose 4 games, and they were against Mönchengladbach, twice against Bayern Munich this time. We were unbeaten last season, not this time round, and Leverkusen we get smashed 5-0. Beer gets 21 goals for the season. Dolberg, 3rd best player in the league as well. Skoff, most assists in the league, and Nubel, 2nd most assists as well. I mean, we're looking pretty good for the youngsters. So league form, a lot of wins once again, only one less than last season. However, it does look a pretty sight though. 2 losses in the space of, well, quite a few months really, up to March. Wow, we remain 4 months unbeaten in that section here. 5-2 win over Dortmund, in fact, wow, away from home. Amazing stuff. 5-0 lost there, 5-2 there. Any of the bigger teams? 6-1 over Schalke, 6-0 against Frankfurt. That's the results we want to see. Bayern and Mönchengladbach without scoring, and Bielefeld as well, a 0-0 draw though. But we draw 4-4 with Freiburg and then beat Dortmund again, this time just 2-1 at home. The German Cup, we get smashed by Frankfurt 5-2 after beating Boutsen 4-0. Disappointing again after a season we've had to bow out the German Cup. It's disappointing, I have to say. We do also bow out of Europe very early on. We finished in 26th position, which I'm quite not surprised. I did say we had a really tough round of games to play, but we did beat Juventus surprisingly and Olympiacos. We draw with AZ and Rangers, which I would have expected us to win them games, to be fair, but the games we lost: Chelsea 3-1, Bilbao 1-0, Real Madrid 4-1 and 4-3 against Milan. So they were pretty close. But to miss out by a point as well, I mean, just one of them to turn into a win or one of them to turn into a draw, especially the Milan one where we lost 4-3. The final was won by Real Madrid, beating Man United 4-1. So well done to them. Right, we did have a change up front. Dolberg, I don't think, got as many games up front, but we had another youngster, Morstedt, from the youth academy as well. He's got great potential. 20 years old. Him and Beer, which is speculation Beer could be moving away. He's trying to force a move, but I'm hoping we can hang on to him for one more season at least. Anyway, then he can do what he wants after that. We've got him to 2029 as well, but 25 from him, 15 from Morstedt as well, with 7 assists, 8 for Beer as well. So they've done really well between the pair of them. 14 for Dolberg also, 10 for Skoff, so more players getting double figures in goals, which is what we want to see as well. Skoff with 16 assists, I think he's outweighed everybody else. Bear with 8, Morstedt, Geiger. Where's our other left winger? It's the Polish guy, wasn't it? Is this guy here? 9 goals, 3 assists. Maybe we might have to change his position into winger or something like that to provide, I think. But yeah, 3 assists. I expect a lot more from our wingers, to be fair. But to score 9 goals in his first season, I'm happy with that. And he is slightly deeper, aren't they? They're not wingers as opposed to wide midfielders. Money this time. Wow. Okay. We're in Europe once again. £80 million to spend. Wow. We could bring in some good quality players in here at least. Do we go for a top striker that we know can put the ball in the back of the net? Do we go for a top midfielder to help Turan? A centre back maybe? Oh, the list is endless, and we've got about £240,000 a week as well, so we can definitely do something with that. We'll have to get some of the contracts out of the way first and then see what's left, but I'm hoping we can bring in some good quality players. We'll have to raid Bayern Munich, I think. We pick up Fabio Moretti from Juventus for £23.5 million to sit in midfield and help out Turan in that section. And I think he's going to be another superb player. 23 years old as well. He's going to be here for a while, up to 2031. We had to go and get another goalkeeper. We seem to be losing goalkeepers hand over fist. I didn't realise at the end of last season we lost Nubel for £10 million. Yeah, he went in, I think it was the April. So I didn't realise that until we were doing the transfers, and realised, hang on a minute, we've got no goalkeeper, and there you have it. So Dennis Seaman comes in for £25 million from Stuttgart, and half of the transfer budget went on Stenz. We've been following him for quite a few seasons, and it was only this season really we could really afford to. Skov is getting a little bit older now. We wanted somebody to replace him, and I think we may have done that with Stenz. Yes, he is 27 years old, but he's got at least another 3 seasons in him. So I think he'll bring in a lot of experience and very, very good all-round ability as well. So £93 million spent overall, which isn't too bad. We let go of a few players, not many. Soki goes 1.6 for Almira. Philip and Noll also disappear. And a few other players going out alone. But other than that, not much movement going out. Pre-season, as it has done in the previous couple, it's gone very, very well. We win our first round in the German Cup 7-0. We draw with Dusseldorf in the league 1-1, and then we have 2 wins over Cologne and Dortmund, which I'm very, very happy about. The Champions League, we pick up Man City, Marseille, Copenhagen, I think that's Roma, Bilbao, Monaco, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. I mean, how many Spanish teams can you pick up there? I mean, it's just ridiculous. They don't want us to go through. We are lying in 3rd position. We're taking up our familiar role. Level on points with Leipzig and Schalke. We've drawn Bielefeld in the next round of the German Cup. And the season preview has us now creeping into the top 5. 25-1 now to win the league. It will be quite something if we managed it. Bayern Munich haven't got their own way in the Dream 11. Leipzig have got a few players in there. Leverkusen and Dortmund's Bellingham is in there also. So for the final season, let's simulate. We'll come back and let's see if we can improve on that 3rd position. Can we challenge the top 2? Can we get a little bit further in the German Cup? And also, can we qualify for the next round of the Champions League given the teams that we've got to play? So let's find out. Well, it's been another fantastic season. We've defied the odds from the media who predicted us 5th, I think, this time. So we go one better and 4th. We are slightly one place down from the previous 2 seasons. Being in Europe, what have you, does take its toll. But 19 wins, 7 draws, 8 losses, 71 goals scored though. So we're still piling the goals in, which is good. We do concede a few more than previously. But 64 points, some way off the lead, where Bayern Munich literally, wow, they only conceded 16 goals in 34 games. Wow, that is just amazing. Although they did have 3 draws in the last 5 games. Dolberg and Beer in the race for the Golden Boot. Dolberg beats Beer this time with 21, but it is Fofana of Leverkusen who takes it with 27 goals. We started off fine with quite a lot of wins, just 2 losses, Leipzig and Bayern Munich, a 4-0 loss there. But we do beat Hanover 4-0. Leverkusen we draw 1-1. Schalke we beat 2-0, who finished above us. 5-2 smashing of HSV. 5-2 win against Dusseldorf. A loss. We do have about 5 losses in 6 games here. We do beat Dortmund again, 3-2 this time. But yeah, a 6-0 drubbing by Bayern Munich. 10-0 on aggregate against them. Leipzig and Augsburg beat us. Yeah, so that's what's kind of hurt us towards the end of the season. But look at that. A few months unbeaten run. A 6-3 win over Union Berlin there. And another win against Schalke. And the German Cup, we only go and win it. Wow. After struggling over the past few seasons to get anywhere near the final, we beat Enderbruck 7-0. Bielefeld 3-1. 3-1 against Hertha Berlin. We beat Mainz on penalties. HSV we win 3-0 in the semi-final. And then Freiburg 2-1. We'll treat you to the goals as well. We do take the lead very earlier on in the game. Stengs with a fantastic finish from the middle of the box. Right into the top corner. That is superb. The equaliser comes in from Freiburg as well to send the game level. But so again, another good finish. We'll let them have that one, but we do score right at the death. The 120th minute, I think. Well, 112th minute in extra time. And Baumgartner races through. And in off their player, Boldy as well. That's fantastic. We win a trophy, so we're not to be undone. And stats-wise, you can see 39 attempts on goal, 14 find the target, 54% possession, and we just outpass them as well. And we cover more distance. So I think deservedly, we do win it by a long stretch. The Champions League, wow. I know we had a few tough games in this, but we qualify in 10th position behind Newcastle, Man City in 8th, Liverpool in 7th, Bayern Munich in 6th, Chelsea, Arsenal, Real Madrid, PS. Wow, there's a lot of English teams there. Tottenham are in there as well. What's going on? We do beat Atletico Madrid. We beat Atletico Madrid. We beat Roma, Copenhagen, and we beat Man City as well. We draw with Barcelona. We only lose to the French clubs. How bizarre. In the next round we play Bilbao again. This time we beat them over the 2 legs, 5-2 on aggregate. And then Man City, we play them again. I mean, we're destined not to go far in this by playing teams we've already played. I don't think the draw has been made fairly, if I have to be honest. A 1-1 draw at home, and then we get pummeled away 5-3. Squad-wise, Beer and Dolberg both with 29 goals. Beer scoring 29 in 50. And Dolberg needing another 2 games on top to score his 29. Nobody else comes near. Zaweski, 6 goals. Thuram, 7. Stengs, 6. 7 for Skov as well. Is this in some sort of order? A few more players scoring, about half the team. Even Angelina getting on the score sheet as well. And Killian with 2 goals. Assist-wise, seems to be a little bit better. But our 2 strikers assisting each other with 14 and 12. Zaveski as well with 11. 9 for Turan. Stengs 9 as well. Skov 8. Prommel was 7. I mean, it has been a lot better. An average rating. Who tops the bill? Turam 7.34. Beer after him. Dolberg after him as well. Then Stengs, Moretti as well in midfield. Although he has taken an injury, which seems to be out for 2 weeks. Don't know how long he's been out for. But he did play 45 games, 5 goals, 7 assists. Not bad for his first season. Superb. Let's have a look at the financials. Another £35 million being ploughed in, even though they got 73 in the bank. Debts, a 3.5 transfer debt. Is that good? I don't think we are in debt. There's no net debt. I think we may have had some debt when we brought in Stengs. Maybe, I think it was £7.5 million over a few years maybe. But it's been reduced drastically, that's for sure. But let me know down in the comments if that means we're actually not in debt. Because the net debt suggests it, and we've got no other money owing either. That's phenomenal. Staffing has improved right across the board. We are pretty much top of things here, and we're getting better and better. Scouting, remember, we were only just above average, and wow, that's improved no end as well. So, winning the German Cup for the first time is absolutely a big deal. It really is. We've managed to get a trophy and also stay in the top half, and the last few seasons, the top 4. Which is absolutely superb, and compete in Europe and get ourselves a trophy. That's fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And to be fair, I really enjoyed this save. This could be a really good long-term save as well. Right, if you did enjoy that, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments who you would like to see rebuilt next. I am in the process of getting some kit packs put on as well, so it looks even more polished. Hopefully that'll work as well. And until the next rebuild, thank you very much for watching. Thank you.